All right, what's up, YouTube? It's Elijah the Hero, and I do apologize. I know I've been gone for a while, but yeah, my life is getting a little hectic. Everything's back to normal, so we're back on this video grind, and I have a different video for you guys today. Today, I'm going to be doing a story time. Yep, a story time. I feel like it's a great way for you guys to get to know me and, tell me your stories, and I get to know you guys, and we build that synergy, you know what I'm saying? So, if you read the title already, you know that this story is about how me and my best friend fought because of a girl. So, yeah, let's get right into it. Let's rewind the clock right back to I want to say 2012. Yeah, maybe 2012. I don't know. I can't do math right now. Let's just say 2012. I'm in the 7th grade. But yeah, you already kind of know where the story is going. So I'm just going to give you some backstory to who I am. So yeah, my actual real name is Elijah. So you guys don't think it's just like a weird name or something like that. But yeah, my real name is Elijah. Little bit about me back in the day, back before I went to this certain school, which I'll delve more into. I was the type to get bullied. I was a nerdy kid who liked nerdy things, who brought a Yu-Gi-Oh! Dual Disc to school and nobody stopped me. So yeah, that would get me bullied. Always gotten bullied my whole entire life. Up until the 7th grade is where a lot of things changed for me. I always went to a school where, black people are the minority, which is the case for most places. But yeah, definitely the minority at those schools, mainly Mexicans and white people. I was too black to hang out with the other kids, but I wasn't black enough to hang out with the black kids. So I would get bullied. I was in this weird kind of place where I would just get bullied and beat up because I had no place to go. So yeah, but that all changed when I went to a school called Telios Preparatory Academy. And the reason why I say this is because the school does not exist anymore. So where I'm from, there is this thing called the Great Hearts Academy. They're supposed to be like these AAA kind of schools, the best schools you send your smart kids to. But the difference about Telios is that this one was for black kids. So my grandmother saw the school uniform, and said, yes, I'm sending my grandson there, because I live with my grandparents. So yeah, she saw the ties, the cardigans, the slacks, the penny loafers, and said, my boy is going there because it looks professional, it looks good, it looks sophisticated. She could have been more wrong. This was the ghettoest school I ever been to in my fucking life. This school was so ghetto, it was fucking crazy. It was attached to a church, so my grandma was eating that shit up. It was attached to a church, and it was a school, so you get 2 for 1. They were teaching about the Bible, all this. No, this school was so new that they hired new teachers, which was crazy because none of the teachers were black, but we had a black principal. I'm not really gonna talk about him, he was just kind of crazy. Had a black principal, no teachers were black, they were all new teachers, so those teachers were getting ran. These are kids that are coming straight from the ghetto, from the south side of where I live. So that kind of gives you a sight of where we're at right now. So I go into the school, and this is the school where I meet both of my best friends, Drought and Marshall. Drought and Marshall are still my friends to this day, but this story is going to pertain to Marshall more than Drought. So before I became friends with Marshall, he became my best friend, I hated this nigga. I hated this nigga with every single fiber in my fucking being. And the reason why I hated Marshall is because Marshall was everything that I wasn't at the time, that I wanted to be. So, Marshall is, I'll just give you some insight into Marshall, who Marshall is right now. Marshall, right now, in the age that we are, I'm 25, he's 25. Marshall is 6'5", tall man, confident in himself, confident in everything he does, the life of the party, class clown, could get any girl that he wanted. Me, being this timid, I'm fairly tall, I'm 6'2", fairly timid kid who, didn't really have a lot of friends and didn't really have a lot going for me. I was a nerdy kid. I mean, I wasn't ugly. I was innocent, didn't really know anything. I had a purity ring at the time. This was before I was even concerned about concerned about girls. So yeah, purity ring at the time. Marshall was everything I wanted to be at the time. But they always say, don't meet your heroes for a reason. So I hated Marshall with everything in me. He was the most popular kid at the school in the beginning of the school. His family is wealthy. So, you know, he has all the nice stuff, the nicest gear, the nicest house, the nicest lifestyle out of everybody in the whole school. So people naturally flocked to Marshall. Me being an outsider looking in kind of was like, I would like to be like him. But I already had my friend in Gerard who was just like me. You know, he was a gamer. He liked games. He liked nerdy stuff, anime. He's the one who got me into anime. So, you know, I was going to stick with Gerard. But as time progressed, me and Gerard kind of didn't have a lot of the same classes, but I did with Marshall. And me and Marshall would butt heads all the time for like the first 2 weeks of school until we got detention together. So that is the way I've met my best friend Marshall. Is we got detention together and for fighting each other. And then we actually figured out that we both like video games, and that was the way we connected. So yeah, Marshall is always confident in himself and everything that he does. But with people like that, this is not to rag on him because he's not like this anymore. It comes with a little inferiority complexes sometimes. So keep that in mind about Marshall, is that, you know, Marshall does not like to lose. And this is another story I'll give you in the backstory about our friendship. Marshall is the type of friend who does not like to lose or does not like to be in second place. He's in first place. You know, if I had to describe Marshall as a character that most of you guys listening to would know, he'd be like Bakugo from My Hero Academia. He does not like losing. He's loud, but he's like kind of chiller and funnier. But, you know, one time at my school, since it is a preparatory academy and a fancy school, we had chess class. So we were playing chess. I was kicking Marshall's ass at this game, kicking his fucking ass. This man gets so fucking mad that he flips the whole chessboard in the air. Pieces go everywhere, flying everywhere, hitting niggas in the head. They turn around. I have my hands up already because I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Why'd you do that? Like, you know, your hands are up. Marshall's hands are already back down. The teacher turns around and sees my hands up, immediately assumes that it was me. She said, Elijah, why you flipped the chessboard over? I was like, bro, that wasn't me, that was Marshall. This nigga looks right in her eyes and says, nah, Elijah did that shit. I had my hands down. How could I even do that? That wasn't even fucking me. Detention. So this is the type of friend that I had. My grandparents and my mother did not like Marshall, but, you know, I always knew deep down there's something special about Marshall. Something that, you know, we should stay friends. I just like the kid. But with me and Marshall becoming so close, eventually, you know, I would go to his house. And this is the start of how we fought. So Marshall, as the school year goes on, Marshall becomes more like a brother to me. So, you know, we have our little arguments, our little spouts and stuff like that. And Marshall starts introducing me to his town. So I lived in this kind of like area next to Phoenix, Arizona. Marshall lives in a nice fancy place called Queen Creek at the time. It's nice. There's a lot of Mormon people there, a lot of rich people there too. So I go there and I start meeting Marshall's friends from that kind of city. So the way it really works is our school is 45 minutes from Marshall's house, but since the school was so, you know, well known and it was a Great Heart school, his parents were like, nah, you're going there. So he was out of the community and like out of like that elementary school he was going to before. So I started meeting his friends. Marshall meets this girl that he really likes. Her name is Maria. Maria is the centerpiece of the story, so keep her in mind. Marshall really, really, really likes Maria, to the point where, you know, he's trying everything in his power to date this girl. And mind you, we're in like the 7th or 8th grade, I don't know. I think we're in the 8th grade actually, but he's trying to date this girl. So Marshall is, you know, coming on a little bit too strong. She wasn't really digging that. And, you know, when I hung out with Marshall, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of the sidekick at the time. And I would just kind of just hang around him and, you know, let him do his thing, and I'd just be there. Now, Maria liked this about me. She liked the fact that, you know, I'm quiet. I keep to myself. I don't really say too much. I don't try to be the center of attention. Marshall did not like that shit. He did not like the attention that I was getting. Like I said, Marshall is a guy who does not like to lose. So this is where the downhill of our friendship started coming. And he started making fun of me and telling her how I used to get bullied and stuff like that, and how I was bullied in the beginning of school. Like, totally like backstabs me because she was starting to like me. Well, I don't know if she's starting to like me, but she was starting to, you know, try to talk to me more than she was talking to him. So he didn't like that. So that was like a weekend that I was over at his house. So then Marshall is like, you know what, bro, you gotta stop coming over so much. So I was like, okay, bet. Because I was going to Marshall's house like every weekend. Like every weekend I was going to Marshall's house. So then, and like Marshall's house is like an hour and 30 minutes away from my house. So my grandma was getting tired of driving all the way over to pick me up. So that kind of like stopped, and I started going over there during breaks instead. So Marshall's talking to this girl to our next break. I don't know what the break was. I think it was spring break, I want to say. So I was talking to her through those times, you know? So he gets close to her, and they eventually kind of like start being like boyfriend and girlfriend, but it's not at that mode where it is boyfriend and girlfriend. But here's where it starts getting crazy. So this week I decide that I'm going to spend the whole week at Marshall's, the whole break basically at Marshall's house, because I don't have a lot of family who lives here. There's not a lot for me to do in Levine, and my grandparents work full time, both of them. So I'd be home alone by myself most of the time. So my grandma was like, hey, good idea. I have somewhere for you to go. I know where you are. I trust Marshall's parents. So I'm there for a week. Bags packed, everything. It's litty. We about to get lit. I'm thinking we about to have the most fun that we've had, because this is my first time ever staying in his house for a whole entire week, right? So this whole week goes by, and you know, I start getting closer to Maria too. Like, you know, that's like, she's over hanging out with us all the time. It's the three of us. So, you know, I start adding her on I added her on Facebook and like Kik and like stuff like that at the time. And, you know, I don't know if you know about that, but Skype, we used to Skype and stuff like that, like all three of us and stuff like that. So that weekend I really got to know her, and her and Marshall were kind of like on this dating thing. So she would talk to me every time Marshall would kind of like do something to make her mad, and I was like, hey bro, like that's my boy, you know, you just like that sometimes, you just gotta calm it down and blah blah blah. So we started to build like a kind of friendship over just time, just naturally from us just hanging out. So here is where things start getting crazy. So we're back at school, right? And Marshall is like, hey bro, yeah, I heard you been talking to like Maria without me. And like, I've never actually really talked to her without him. So every time that I've talked to her, he's been in the Skype, or he's known that, or the Uvu, and he's known that I talked to her. I don't message her like that either. So I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? I only talk to her when you talk to her. She's like, nah, she's been sending me stuff saying that y'all been talking and getting closer, and thinking that, and she's saying that you've been like trying to make moves on her, which was a fucking lie. I really was not trying to do that. So I'm like, yo, what's going on? So Maria, I text her, right? And I'm talking about, hey, you know, Marshall's been telling me that, you know, you've been saying I'm trying to make moves on you. It's not really like that. I'm only trying to just be friends because you're my girl. You're my boy's friend. You're my boy's girlfriend. And she's like, nah, I know you want to try and do more than that. I know you want to be more than that. I can tell her the way you look at me and the way you talk to me. I'm like, skirt. What the fuck? Like, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. I do not like you, and I don't want like anything to do with you, like any part. I'm only talking to you because you're my homie's girl. So by this time, I'm thinking, this girl, I think she likes me, and I think that, you know, she wants something more than just, you know, being friends, and she's dating my boy. So I'm like, all right, bet. I'm about to cut off all communication with her. Right. So now this is where everything takes a fucking left turn. So I go to sleep, you know, right, thinking like, hey, I'm about to tell Marshall this shit tomorrow, you know, she acted crazy, and everything's gonna be all solved. Everything's all solved. So at my school, we have this thing called like the early morning assembly. My grandmother works at 5 o'clock in the morning, so I was always at school like hella early, just hanging out in the gym, right? It would be me, my sister, like, you know, people would just start gradually showing up before like 8 o'clock. So I'd be in that gym, just like, you know, hanging out, waiting for like, you know, school to start, right? Marshall doesn't get there until like basically like the last 30 minutes of their of like before early morning assembly starts, right? So I'm sitting down talking, and like bam, the fucking gym auditorium door opens, and here comes this 6'2" ass 8th grader, Marshall. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, I'm like, oh, like he's like, and this nigga looks like pissed. Like he has like he on 10, he on Super Saiyan mode. Like this nigga is coming here, he's about action right now. So I'm like, damn, why is he walking so fast? He look angry as hell. So I'm like, oh, what's up, bro? What's up? Like, I get up, this nigga pushes me, right? Pushes me to the against, like, you know those like foam pads, like when you're playing basketball and you do a layup and you're going too far, you hit the foam pads in school. So he pushes me into those. I'm like, hey, bro, what's going on? He's like, bro, what the fuck? Why are you talking to her, bro? I told you to stop talking to Maria, bro. I told you to stop talking to her. And I'm like in my head, like, confused as hell, because I don't know what's going on right now. I haven't even been talking to nobody. I haven't been talking to her because he doesn't know what I know. So I'm like, bro, wait, hold on. Marshall, like I said, does not like to lose. He's not like to be in second place. He's not like that shit. So this nigga is not even letting me get a word in, right? And, you know, he's like, I knew you were a freak friend from the beginning and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. I'm like, bro, she's playing games with you. She's like, why would you do that? That shit's stupid. She wouldn't do nothing like that, bro. You just a lying ass nigga, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, I'm like, all right, bro, I'm not trying to hear none of this. So I try to walk past him. This nigga pushes me again, right? So he pushes me again. So I push him back. Now, this is the part where a lot of y'all probably be like, hey, time to cut the friendship off. Y'all can't be friends no more, right? This nigga, bro, he takes his textbook and, bro, he takes his textbook, and I'm not talking about like one of them light novel ass textbook. I'm talking about them thick bitches, them like 200 page, I'm not even 200, like the 2,000 page ass textbooks, nigga. 2,000 ass thick hardcover with the hard ass corners ass book, bro. Takes that shit, right? Cocks his fucking arm back. Throws that shit, chucks that shit with everything he fucking has, chucks that shit right at me, bro, right? And like, I could see the shit, like everything was moving in slow motion, my nigga, like everything was moving in fucking slow motion. I could see the book coming at me, right? But there was nothing I could do. Right? I stood right there. Bam. That shit hits me right in the fucking face, bro. Right in the fucking face. Right in the lip. And I'm talking about, this is like 10 minutes before school is about to start, so the whole fucking school, our whole fucking class body is right there. See this nigga throw this fucking book in my fucking face, bro. I was hot, bro, holding my lip because I'm like, bro, my fucking shit is bleeding. Like, this nigga just chucked this whole fucking textbook ass fucking college essay, fucking 3,000 ass page, $300 ass book at my fucking face, bro. I was so fucking hot, I couldn't even think straight. So I'm sitting here like, bro, I'm about to light this nigga up, bro. I'm about to like this. And I think, like, at this moment, like, Marshall knew, like, what he did. Like, he let his anger get the best of him, because his face when he threw that book at me was like, bro, like, what the fuck did I just do? And, like, this is, like, in 8th grade, so we started going to school together in 7th grade. So me and Marshall have been friends for, like, a year and a half by now. So I'm ready to, like, stall off on this nigga type shit. Like, I'm ready to beat this nigga's ass type shit. But then I think about it for a second, and I revert back to the old person I was, you know, the person who gets bullied. I think about, like, you know, like, why would he do that, basically, you know? He's hurt. He's my best friend. I know him. I know why he's going through this. Yeah, I probably should have hit the shit out of him and stuff like that, but, you know, I calmed myself down. I went to the bathroom, looked like a little punk, like I was running away from a fight. Went to the bathroom, you know, go wash my mouth out because I thought it was bleeding. But I was fine, you know, and then, you know, like, while I'm in the bathroom and stuff like this, like, I'm hot, I'm kind of pacing, like, bro, I should just hit that nigga. Why did I hit him? I should just punch him right in the fucking face, bro. And he comes in the bathroom, you know, and he's like, hey, bro, like, you know, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to throw that book at you type shit. And I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to hear none of that shit. I'm not trying to hear none of that fucking shit right now, bro. And I'm hot. I'm fucking hot right now. And he was like, bro, look, I just let my anger get the best of me. I apologize. I didn't mean to throw the book at you. It just kind of, like, you know, like, happened. Like, you know, he just kind of, like, blacked out type shit. And I've seen Marshall get angry to the point of blacking out type shit. So I believed him. And I'm like, all right, man, let me calm down. So, you know, I calmed down, and I'm like, bro, look, I'm not talking to her. And he's like, then why would she tell me that you are talking to her? I'm like, look, bro, I didn't have, like, I wasn't allowed to bring my phone to school, so I didn't have no proof to show him. So I'm like, bro, all right, look, let me come over to your house this weekend, because this was on a Thursday. And I was like, let me only come over to your house this weekend, and I'll show you, right? So then, time forwards, I go to his house, show him the receipts. I was never talking about her. I was never talking to her. I was never on that type of timing. He saw that shit. So we asked her, like, what the deal is? Like, what's your problem? This bitch just said that she just wanted to see us fight. And she just wanted to just basically ruin our friendship and just want to fight. Like, told us this shit right to our faces on, like, Facebook type shit. Like, said that she just wanted to see us fight and that she thought it'd be, like, entertaining. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck? So, like, yeah, and, you know, Marshall kind of like, dropped her ass and was like, bro, like, let's never let no girl come in between us again type shit. You're always going to be my friend. And I'm like, yeah, bro, you're always going to be my friend too type shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's kind of really the end of the story. I guess if I had to put a moral in the story for like, if there's any younger people who like, listen to this in the future, or like, I get like a younger audience, don't ever fight your friends, your boys over a girl. It's never that serious. It's never that serious. You don't want to ruin lifelong friendships because, Marshall was my friend, been my friend since the 7th grade. That's my nigga. That's my brother at this point. And, I never thought that we would get this far into our friendship, but, you kind of see people change. You start seeing the better sides of them. And, some people do change for the better. And I feel like my friend Marshall is a good example of that. And, he's still Marshall at the end of the day, but he's not that on that type of timing anymore. So, yeah, like, comment, tell me some of your stories. Let me know if you enjoy this. I'm 25, but I lived a lot of life in these 25 years. So I got some other stories I've got cooking up for you guys. So if you guys like this kind of stuff, let me know. And I've been Elijah the Hero. Peace. I'm saying awestruck, several thoughts fuel my ego. Mental thoughts fuel my pride, was passing it to my ego. We share the pain with fire burn, I'm a heat throw. Niggas say I'm a small fry, you should know that I eat those. You should know that I'm coming with thunder enough for easeful. I will not pause what I'm doing right now. Just give